Twinkies.
The story begins with a young boy by the name of Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya was extremely smart as a child. At the age of 4, he was reading, writing, and doing various other things at a college level. He was so smart that he was able to analyze his own tendencies and figure out what his quirk was before they could even go to the doctors. Inko, his mother, was very hesitant about putting Izuku into all these advanced classes, but once she noticed how intelligent her son was, she gave in. By the age of 6, Izuku finished college, and he got a doctorate in engineering physics and even artificial intelligence. Izuku was so smart that many support courses in different hero-like high schools were reaching out for him to apply. But Inko decided that at this time it wouldn't be the best idea and he should make friends with people his own age. So he would join UA's support course when he was 15. Izuku didn't really mind, and he got various offers to check out different agencies varying from Night Eyes to Fat Gums and tons more. For Izuku though, he wanted to visit his old school to see his best friend Kacchan, other known as Katsuki Bakugo, because since Izuku started doing college work, he didn't see him very much, if not at all. Izuku, who is about 8, went to the school that he was supposed to go to, but had a visitor's pass instead of obviously being a student. He was allowed to sit in on his class, and then when they were given free time, he could talk to Bakugo. During that time, he approached Bakugo. "Hey, Kacchan!" Bakugo turns and is shocked to see Izuku. "Izuku, what have you been up to?" "Oh, my mom sent me to get a, better education. I'm actually done with school." Bakugo's eyes light up. "Wow, Izuku, wait, I want to show you my quirk." Bakugo starts showing his quirk without the teacher seeing, obviously not being allowed to do so, and Izuku is amazed, and begins writing down everything he can about Bakugo's quirk. "That is awesome, Kacchan, you're gonna be a great hero." They both talk for a little bit longer, and Izuku ends up leaving, telling Kacchan that he will see him at UA, even if, they're not in the same class. Izuku, with the time between his entrance into UA and the current time, he decided to start making support items for various people. For instance, like Bakugo, making his gauntlets a lot sooner than normal. But also, multiple agencies began asking for his support items. And this, let's just say made him and Inko really rich. So they both moved into a big house, and Izuku had his very own lab, very similar to kind of like if you remember Iron Man's lab and stuff like that. He began what he believed to be the biggest project he has ever started. He wanted to make an exoskeleton that basically would allow the crippled to walk. Inko is extremely surprised, thinking that Izuku would be making some sort of suit of armor that would help him fight villains. But what Inko didn't know is he kind of planned to do that as well, but he knew he needed the backing of UA before he actually started the project. When he was about 13, he was already a multi-millionaire, and he began to get known by pro heroes as this guru of sorts, that he knew exactly what everyone wanted and needed. UA realized this and told Izuku that they would be moving him and his mother to a more secluded area, free of charge of course. But obviously that wouldn't matter anyways, but Izuku would have everything he had in his old house in, the new one. Inko quickly agreed, obviously just wanting her son to be safe at all times. Izuku, after finishing his exoskeleton project, he decided to work on something more than that for, himself. He decided that a suit of armor wasn't really his style, and he was more into something, well, at a bigger range. He began working on his own AI, something that he would carry around him that would analyze any situation he was put into. He believed that having one genius is good, but what about having a genius and an AI built by that genius? After about 2 years, and well, 2 days before he started at UA, he actually finished the AI. He put a micro patch on the back of his head and a user interface showed up. Hello, Izuku. Hello, now what should I call you? How about Apollo? That sounds good. Yes, that sounds good to me, Izuku. Now, is there anything you would like me to do? Oh, nothing for now, but soon you will be helping the heroes a lot. After 2 days, Izuku is obviously admitted into UA, and he begins searching for the support class, but finds 1A. Oh, this is the hero course. I wonder if Kachan is in there. Izuku walks in, seeing Bakugo arguing with some blue-haired kid. Come on, Kachan, arguing already? Bakugo turns and sees Izuku. Izuku, you are here? Are you in my class? No, I'm in the support class. The blue-haired boy tells him that he should leave then if he's in the support class and that this isn't right for a student of UA. Izuku basically just ignores him and keeps talking to Bakugo until Aizawa comes in, and Izuku begins to walk out as well. Have fun with Aizawa as your teacher. Have a good day, Izuku. The class is shocked that it seems like Izuku just casually knows the teachers, but Bakugo isn't really surprised because of the influence he has already put onto Hero Society, and he's only their age. Izuku arrives at the support class late, and Power Loader is talking. Oh, yeah, welcome, Midoriya. Please sit down. He sits next to a girl with pink hair, and some of the students begin to complain, saying why isn't he in trouble for being late. Power Loader is about to say something, but Izuku decides, well, to show them. Mr. Power Loader, can I show them if I may? Power Loader chuckles and tells him to come up. He does so and picks someone out of the group. The guy walks up and Izuku puts something on his chest. Now, do me a favor, try to walk out the class. Huh? What are you talking about? Power Loader tells him that if he can make it out that door in 30 seconds, class is over. The boy smirks and runs, but seems to be back where he was in an instant. The class is confused, saying that he isn't even moving. Oh, he is moving. I just messed with the time that fluctuates around him. So he moves to the door, but it rewinds him back to where it started. Izuku pulls it off, and Power Loader says that the 30 seconds are now up. The class is shocked, but the girl by the name of Mei Hatsume says that she knows who this is, and that he's kind of become a legend for his support items. Oh, that's very sweet, thank you. Izuku sits down, and Power Loader goes on with his lesson, obviously making the point that Izuku is, well, far beyond this class. Class is then over, but Izuku stays, and the class asks why he isn't leaving. Oh, I already have all my credits for normal classes, as well as college credits, as well as I have 2 doctorates. They basically all are shocked and ask why is he even here, and he basically says that the support from UA allows him to do even more with his support items, so it kind of is a win-win. The class nods and they all leave. Izuku begins working once again, and after some time, Aizawa actually enters the support class. Izuku, can I speak with you? Oh, yeah, I'm on the way. Midoriya walks out with Aizawa. Okay, so tomorrow All Might is coming by to train my class. If you want, I don't mind if you join them. Oh, really? All Might? Awesome, I would love to join. Can I use my support items? Yeah, I mean, you can use whatever, just let Power Loader know before. Izuku nods and heads back into the classroom. He tells Power Loader that, and obviously he says it's fine. After some time, Mei Hatsume enters the class and runs up to Midoriya, asking for his help making her babies? I really hope you mean support items. Mei tilts her head and asks what else would she mean. Never mind. What do you need as long as you don't blow me up? She shows him her brand new support items, which is stuff like her rocket boots and other things like that. He approaches them and starts working, and he adds something. I added a renewable power source, so while on a mission, it should be even easier to use. Mei is shocked and says that the rumors are true. He is a genius. Izuku chuckles, thanking her, but he says that it's only something minor and that she did the mass majority obviously on her own. After some more working, Izuku heads off back to his home, and when he arrives, he goes into his lab and begins working on something for hero training the next day. He begins adjusting an exoskeleton that he made and he configured it to be placed on the outside of his skin and to basically give him increased movement, strength, and various other abilities, even being able to execute a mode where each part of his body would move on its own based on, well, a fighting situation. But this is still in the very early beginning stages in terms of development. The next day, Izuku arrives, checks in with Power Loader, and goes to Class 1A. He walks in and Tenya Ida tells him to leave and that he shouldn't be here. Izuku makes a chair appear by Bakugo's desk and he sits down, with the people who are there are actually pretty amazed at where he just poofed a chair from. Momo asks if he has a creation quirk and he says no, that he basically just shrunk the chair and regrew it using some technology he made when he was about like 8 years old. Also, Mr. Ida, I will be attending your hero course class today, so if you don't want Aizawa to yell at you, maybe you should sit down. Ida kind of looks shocked and apologizes and sits down. Okay, problem children. And Izuku. Today you all will be having a different teacher, and he should be here, I think right now. I am here, walking through the door like a normal person. The class shouts All Might's name, but Izuku just stares at him and tilts his head. Now all of you, get on your hero costumes. Izuku heads out of the class and goes to ground Gamma, but begins talking to Apollo. Apollo, status check on All Might, please. All Might, number 1 hero, seems that he has a significant injury or damage to his respiratory system. Interesting. Is that too far to fix? Of course not, with your intelligence. No need to flatter, Apollo. I am not, sir, just stating facts. Izuku slightly laughs and heads toward where All Might is waiting. Izuku Midoriya, am I correct? The genius beyond his years. It's an honor, All Might, especially with coming from you. No need for formalities. You have helped many agencies and heroes already. Why choose to go to UA if you don't mind me asking? Well, because I get UA's support with technology, but also my mom wants me to make friends. All Might slightly laughs and tells him that makes sense. They both wait for the rest of the class to arrive, and they do so. Okay, class. Today we will be doing something pretty simple. It will be a 2 versus 2 sparring matches, and I will be making the teams. All Might announces the teams and says that Team 1 is Bakugo and Midoriya, and they will fight Todoroki and Ida. Oh my, this is not going to be fair. Shota walks over, slightly pushing him, saying not to underestimate him and that he is just some support course student, not a hero student. Bakugo is about to back up Izuku, but Izuku says it's fine. The 4 of them head out to the ground and wait for the match to start. Apollo, please analyze. Apollo analyzes the entire battlefield and Izuku plans. Kachan, do you mind standing in front of me, please? Huh? Why? Todoroki is, well, going to start with a huge blast of ice. Pretty predictable, honestly. I'm going to amplify your explosions so they just shoot straight through it. Bakugo says that he has no idea how that will work, but he's game. The match starts and ice rushes at them. Izuku taps Bakugo's back, putting his exoskeleton on him as well. Now Kachan. Bakugo blasts it and it shatters the ice, and it sends Todoroki flying into a wall, knocked out. Izuku takes back the exoskeleton, putting it on himself instantly, kicking Ida as he runs in. The class stands there in shock. Shoto and Ida were knocked out in just seconds. Damn, Izuku, what the hell was that? A little thing I made. Initially for people who couldn't walk, but I adjusted it to be a tool for combat as well now. Bakugo is impressed, saying that it seems that he is putting those smarts to good use. Hey, what did you think I was doing with them? Bakugo laughs and they bring Ida and Shoto back to the class, and Recovery Girl is called. The rest of the class finishes up their fights and the class is finally dismissed, but Izuku obviously wants to speak with All Might before he leaves. All Might, I actually have a question for you.
What is it, young Midoriya?
Well, how many doctors have you gone to about your injury? All Might is shocked and says that, well, he doesn't have one. Come on, All Might. You can be honest. I already know. All Might asks him to go to the teacher's lounge, and All Might, and then when they get there, All Might untransforms. And he shows his horrible injury and says that every doctor, scientist, and everyone couldn't help. I'll do it. All Might looks completely confused. I'll heal you. Shouldn't be too hard. All Might is shocked, but thinks it's some joke. And Izuku says that he is serious, and that keeping the symbol of peace is important to society, so he will make that his next project. And he already actually knows how to start it. Izuku then leaves, and All Might is just standing there in shock. That this kid really just guaranteed his recovery? Yes, he may be a genius, but All Might swore that recovering from this would be impossible. Izuku heads home and begins working on a special gel that would basically have nanobots that would reconstruct and reform his respiratory system. And it should fix his injury in a matter of days, but Izuku realizes that, well, it will take him at least a week to finish it, so he stops for the night and heads to bed. The next day he heads to school and arrives at his class until he begins to get an alert in his interface. Apollo, is everything fine? No, it seems that the USJ is currently getting attacked by villains, numbering close to 100. Izuku immediately tells Power Loader the situation and they scatter to gather the heroes. Izuku is forced to stay, but this allows for the pros to get to the USJ a lot quicker than normal, and Shigaraki and the Nomu are stopped before anything crazy could actually happen, and Aizawa came out pretty scotch-free. After Class 1A got back to the main ground of UA, Izuku was thanked by the class, Aizawa, and various pro heroes. Oh, no need to thank me, just paying attention. They all ask how did he know, and he says that he built an AI to assist him, and his name is Apollo, and he is very good at what he does. And due to the villain attack though, being halted so quickly, Shigaraki and All For One, the main leaders of the League of Villains, began taking notice of the impact that Izuku was having. Due to this, they began paying a little bit more attention in terms of the UA Sports Festival. All the classes are given 3 days off due to the incident, but the day then came, and the famous UA Sports Festival was about to begin. All the classes are announced, and Izuku obviously walks out with the support course, and he is, well, kind of a celebrity, being known by a lot of people, and even girls begin cheering for him, saying how good looking he is. He kind of laughs at this and May asks what's so funny. Well, I guess money makes me more handsome than I actually am to these girls. May kind of laughs as well with him, and Midnight begins to announce the UA Sports Festival. She says that she will spin a wheel to see the first event. The wheel spins and it lands on something they haven't seen in a long time, called Course Royale. The first event will be within their own course, and only 10 people will go on to the next round from each course, being business, general, support, and hero, of course. Everyone is shocked, but Izuku sees this as a good thing, because frankly, most of the support course wouldn't make it out anyways. Basically, so this would allow them to have more people. The support course is the first to be called to the stage for the Battle Royale, and Midnight says that the last 10 people in the ring go on. Now begin! The Battle Royale begins with all the support course students duking it out, but Izuku is just standing there. Well, yeah, I think they all realized that trying to get Izuku out would mean they would get out themselves, so literally everyone avoids him. It's like he, well, wasn't even there. So honestly, they knock each other out. So Izuku makes it, as one of the 10 people, with Mei and some other side characters, right? That really nobody cares about. They all then are sent to the stands and begin watching the other matches, in which every single course was narrowed down to 10 people. Izuku can be seen the whole time writing things down and noticing that the only threat outside of the hero course was Mei, obviously, and a boy named Shinso, which he already figured out his quirk, so he should be okay. Okay, 10 of the best from the hero course. Let's see. Bakugo, Todoroki, Ida, Momo, Kendo, Kirishima, Tokiyami, Tetsu, Monoma, and Asui. Honestly, probably not even the best from both classes, but not terrible by any means. Midnight then begins to announce the next event. She spins the wheel, and everyone is shocked. Izuku's eyes grow wide. Oh yeah, that's the worst case scenario right there. The wheel spin landed on something called course versus course. Midnight explains that there is a battle with ringouts between each course, and whoever is eliminated will be out no matter if their course wins that round. Izuku looks around and begins to think that this, well, won't go very well. And he isn't religious, but he needs to pray for something. Anything but having to go against the hero course first. And the first fight will be the support course versus the general studies. Izuku can be seen to literally jump out of his chair in excitement, and the crowd just stares at him. What? You thought I was hoping to go against the hero course in the first round? Look, I'm competitive, but I'm not stupid. The crowd hears this and begins to laugh, basically as the support course goes out. Okay, listen everyone, I have a plan. Mei turns to him and begins listening, but the rest of the people refuse. Obviously, Izuku has rubbed a lot of them the wrong way with his personality, and well, now they don't want to help him at all. Right when the battle starts, they jump out the ring, refusing to help him. Well, this is definitely a turn of events. Mei tells him not to worry because she is here. A boy with purple hair then speaks. Hey, what's your name with the pink hair? She turns and says Mei Hatsume, and then she is told to walk out the stage, and she does so. Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I thought was gonna happen. Whoa, in an insane turn of events, Izuku Midoriya is alone. 10 versus 1. Izuku stares at the general studies. Yeah, so, this is a little awkward. Oh well. Izuku dashes forward using his exoskeleton to basically help him, kicking 3 people out immediately. 2 others grab onto him, but Apollo guides him to, in a way, basically to throw them into a submission, totally not breaking their arms or anything like that. Those 2 were then eliminated, and Izuku proceeded to, beat everyone until it was just Shinso. Whoa, those moves were sick by Izuku Midoriya. What do you think, Aizawa? The kid's a genius. Great commentary! Shinso then begins to speak with Izuku. You seem so gifted. Why choose the support course? Izuku just smiles and, well, he makes it pretty apparent he knows his quirk. He quickly throws him out and the support course is deemed the winner, but unfortunately Izuku is alone. He walks back to the stands and stares at the people who hopped out the stage, and he's visibly mad. He then tells them something that, well, isn't gonna settle very well with them. Don't get mad when nobody wants to sign you aboard as a hero, as a support hero, because of what you literally just did. Petty doesn't get you far in this world, I hope you know that. They all ask if that's a threat, and Izuku tells them that he isn't even threatening. He basically tells them that he knows how these pro heroes think, and if you can jump ship on a classmate, you'll jump ship on a hero as well. But for her, I promise she will get tons of people reaching out, and if she doesn't, I'll even put in a good word for her. Mei is excited and gets all jittery and hugs Izuku, not realizing the climate of the situation obviously, but the rest of the support course is pissed. But come on, I mean, they brought it upon themselves. Izuku watches as the hero course destroys the business course, obviously, and, well, all 10 of them are still in. Okay, time to go do something very stupid. Izuku heads down and President Mike begins to announce. Now it is time for the final match of this round. Or, maybe if Izuku Midoriya wins the final match of this day, he will be deemed the #1 victor of the UA Sports Festival. Izuku gets on the stage and sees all 10 of them standing across from him. Apollo, chances of me winning? 10% chance. Whoa, hey, 10? That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. President Mike begins to count them down, and Izuku pulls something out of his pocket. Begin! Izuku is charged at, but he immediately throws something at them, in which they all move out of the way, but it turns into a giant magnet, and Tetsu gets pulled off immediately. That's 1, 9 more to go. Bakugo blasts at Midoriya, and he dodges, trying to kick him out, but he obviously saves himself using his explosions. Momo tries to restrain Midoriya, but as always, like he says, he's always 10 steps ahead. He dodges and throws a metal chair at her, basically growing into a trap on the ground, basically for the time being. So Momo is literally stuck in the ground. Izuku looks to see Shoto just standing there. Yeah, this isn't good. I need him fighting with the others. Out of nowhere, Kendo begins pushing Izuku back with her big hands Quirk, and Asui tries to grab him with her tongue, but he barely dodges, grabbing it and throwing her out of the ring. Alright, 2 down, 8 to go. Izuku continues pushing toward Kendo, but as he does this, Dark Shadow and Monoma charge at him while he uses Bakugo's Quirk. Izuku, trying to think quickly, gloats Monoma into trying to hit him, and he hits Dark Shadow on accident, kicking them both out. Okay, 6 more. Wow, that's still a lot. The last 6 then surround him. Well, more like 5, because Momo is still stuck in the ground, but she's still not out of the ring. So, but Shoto, Ida, Bakugo, Kirishima, and Kendo surround him. Apollo, any ideas? Ego. What the hell does that even mean? Oh wait, hey, that's pretty smart. Izuku then smirks. Wow, the hero course. You all suck. 10 versus 1, and now there's only 5 of you? And you, Bakugo, you need help? Todoroki, you both need help? Bakugo argues, saying he doesn't need help from these damn extras, and Todoroki does the same, saying he will win because of him. Kendo and Ida say that's ridiculous, but even Kirishima falls for it, saying that it isn't very manly to fight 5 versus 1. Izuku tries not to show his smirk, but Apollo talks to him. Chances of winning have now gone up to 50%. Damn right it did, Apollo. Ida decides to charge at Izuku using his Recipro Burst, but Izuku knew this was coming. He basically activates his exoskeleton reaction mode, and when he charges, he dodges, tripping him, making him fall off the stage. Kendo tries to push him out using her wind, but Izuku is able to close the distance, eliminating her with a grappling hook that he actually placed behind them during the fight. Bakugo then steps up with a smirk. "Time to lose, you damn nerd." He charges at Izuku and he dodges the initial blast, but Bakugo grabs his shirt, throwing him. And Izuku tries to recover, and he thinks he did, but his foot hit the white line and is called out. God damn it. Well, I guess this reaction mode needs some spatial awareness work. The hero chorus is deemed the winners of this round, with only 3 people left. Chances of winning now 0%. Apollo, I know that. You don't have to rub salt in the wound. Bakugo comes over telling him that, he did really good. And well, you can tell that fatigue was definitely getting to him. See, Kachan, this is why I sit behind the desk. I don't like fighting. They both kind of laugh, and Shoto just scoffs and leaves, but Kirishima tells Izuku how manly he was during all of that. He knocked out 7 of their teammates until they realize, well, Momo was still technically in the ring. Well, I guess only 6, huh? Izuku heads back and sits down and watches as the 1 versus 1 matches occur, and Bakugo wins in terms of like the whole tournament, and with Shoto getting 2nd and then Kirishima getting 3rd, and unfortunately Momo does not place because Momo is not beating Kirishima. You know what? Maybe next time. The crowd cheers them on when they get their medals, and the sports festival ends. The next day, Izuku arrives in the support class and everyone is there really early. Wait, I swore I wasn't late this time. Power Loader says he isn't. And he basically made those others who jumped off the stage come here early and apologize because of some stupid petty grudge they wanted to hold on to. They all say they are sorry and to please not put a bad word to the agencies. I was never going to do that, but what you did will still be looked at by them at the end of the day, so I can't really change that. They all nod and Power Loader continues class, and then he makes an announcement.
Tomorrow, internship results will be coming in, and you will all choose to go somewhere this year. And you will stay at that internship for about a whole week in a dorm or really wherever they put you in terms of a room. Everyone is kind of excited, but also worried that they won't have any offers, but Power Loader tells them that everyone will have at least one offer. They all celebrate and the class is let out. Izuku heads home and begins working once again, and finally makes a breakthrough, finishing the gel a lot sooner than expected. He goes to school the next day, and Power Loader hands out the list of agencies everyone got, but Izuku doesn't even get one. Hey, Power Loader, where's mine? Kid, I emailed it to you. I'm not gonna waste that much paper.
Izuku checks his phone to see that he practically got every agency basically every agency offered him. He looks through basically to see the one he wants, and he finds it. Perfect. Might as well. The class is soon dismissed and told after the school day to go to their agency. Izuku, before he leaves though, goes to the teacher's lounge to find All Might. Hey All Might, can you come with me please?
Oh, young Midoriya. Where are we going?
Recovery girl. They both arrive and Izuku shows her what he made, and well, how to use it. She applies the gel onto All Might's side, and in a matter of minutes, the nanobots begin to repair all his injuries. And in just 30 minutes, he was back to normal. Recovery Girl and All Might are shocked, and says he should make this for hospitals, and he says that if he could, he would, but it's not possible. He explains that he built this knowing All Might's strength and body capabilities, and many other things. So making something like this but turning it into a universal healing factor, well, is on the bridge of impossible. They say that they understand, and All Might thanks him, and they walk out together. You know, I'm gonna go intern where your successor does his work study.
I don't understand how you figure these things out.
Come on, All Might, not the craziest thing I figured out. Izuku then heads out and goes to the Night Eye agency, and when he arrives, Lemillion, other known as Mirio, is waiting for him. Wow, the legendary Izuku Midoriya, it's a pleasure to meet you. Oh, come on, I'm no royalty. Just good to be here. Mirio brings Izuku in, and Night Eye greets him as well, saying how impressive his performance was in the UA Sports Festival. Still lost, so got some work to do. Night Eye laughs, saying that he's glad to hear it. Actually, Izuku, I do have, well, something non-filled duty for you, but I need you to find something out for me. I need you to find the leader of the Shiha Hazaikai, and I haven't had any luck, so I was hoping you could do some digging. Yeah, sure. Do you have a support lab? Yes, just follow me. They walk into the lab, and Izuku explains that he needs all last known whereabouts, and then he can work. Night Eye gives it to him, and he begins working on a facial recognition in terms of overhaul and how he looks, and then he pulls out a small robot. What is that? Spy robots. Thought they would come in handy eventually. I have about 20 of them or so. So if I put his face into the database, and basically tell it to search all last known locations, it should come up with something. Mirio and Night Eye are shocked at how far along this kid is. Okay, done for now. Frankly, the rest is just the waiting game. Could be a couple of days. I'm smart, not a magician though. Night Eye thanks him and tells Izuku that he doesn't really have anything else for him at the moment, but feel free to use the lab as he wants, or all he wants. Yeah, thanks. Izuku begins to get back to work, adjusting his exoskeleton to exactly what he wants. The next day, Izuku continued this as he waited on his spy bots to get back to him. But then the TV turned on and he saw something very unsettling. He looks to see Hosu City being attacked by Nomus, and that many Nomus are appearing even in other places as well. Mirio busts in the room, telling Izuku that he will be back and him and Night Eye need to handle a villain that is 3 blocks away. They both run off, but Izuku throws something on Mirio. A Nomu, huh? Izuku flips the channel and connects one of his spy bots that is following Mirio and Night Eye. But what he sees is beyond anything he could have imagined. A Nomu with skin like a hood over its head. What the hell? That thing is different, way different from what I heard. Izuku watches the hooded Nomu attacks Mirio and Night Eye, grabbing Night Eye, slamming him into the wall. God damn it. Izuku clicks his watch, and the thing he threw on Mirio flies over to Night Eye. Night Eye, in a burst of power, punches the Nomu off. Apollo, please take over. As you wish. Now to Night Eye's perspective. Hello, Sir Night Eye. It's me, Apollo, Izuku's personal AI. How the heck can I hear you? You have Izuku's exoskeleton currently on, and it gives you increased capabilities. Night Eye smirks. Yeah, that kid, he is too smart for his own good. Night Eye, using his quirk and now his enhanced exoskeleton, began beating the Nomu, with Mirio forcing it to actually retreat, and the Nomu seemed unstable, as if it wasn't quite ready to go out and fight. Night Eye and Mirio go back to the agency. That was a nice fight, you two. How did you know we would need help? I didn't. But like I always say, I do plan to be 10 steps ahead. And we got lucky because that thing wasn't perfected. Either of you really didn't have the firepower to kill that thing. They both look at Izuku in shock. But I may have an idea, but it's gonna take some convincing. What do you have in mind? Let's say we can make kinda our own Nomu. The two of them look at Izuku like he's crazy. No, not like those Nomu's dummies. Like cyborgs. Like, I've been working on a design for a while now, but I need someone who is, well, a true hero and willing to do it. You sure, kid?
That type of power could corrupt someone.
Yeah, Night Eye is right. There are very few people out there that will basically be true heroes in that respect. The phone begins ringing like crazy, and Night Eye is forced to pick it up.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'll send him over. What happened? 2 of your classmates. They are in critical condition.
Izuku immediately leaves after hearing this and heads to UA. And when they basically have the two on or in the campus hospital, he sees Aizawa and runs up. How bad is it, Aizawa?
Bad, kid. They may not even make it. There doesn't even seem to be a chance they will be able to be heroes again, even if they do make it.
Damn. What if I told you I could help whoever is behind this door, save their lives, and make them even better heroes?
What are you talking about?
Izuku explains the plans to make cyborgs to combat, well, like the Nomus and stuff like that. And he basically needed people who are true heroes, and as much as he knows, the people in UA are built to be true heroes. Well, I mean, he hopes at least.
You mean you could save them with what you plan?
Yeah, I know I can save them. Aizawa walks into the room, and when they enter, Shoto Todoroki and Ida Tenya lay on their beds extremely hurt. And Endeavor sits there, with most of the Ida family there as well. They ask what Izuku is doing here, knowing, well, who he is in the first place. I can save them both, but it's going to be a procedure that will make them, well, into cyborgs. Initially, everyone is hesitant, but they eventually agree. Even Endeavor realizing that all he wants is his son's safety now. Okay, well, I need both of them taken to my lab at my house. And all of you can come as well. That's fine. After a couple hours, they are transported. And Inko asks what is going on, and Izuku tells her that their lives are at stake, so there's no time to talk. He gets them both to the lab, with other doctors basically just checking their vitals as Izuku continues to work. He works for days on end, and Izuku just gets very little sleep. And he even ends up dropping out of UA during this time, knowing that his purpose wasn't really there anymore. After about 2 weeks, he was finally finished, and now all they had to do was wait and hope that they would wake up. Izuku sits beside them with all their families and stuff like that, and then they finally wake up. Endeavor hugs his son, and the Ida family do the same with their family, with Ida Tenya. Shoto sits up and sees Izuku. What happened? I saved you both, but I need both of you to stay calm when I say this. They both nod and wait for Izuku to continue. You both are now technical cyborgs, but don't worry, this won't affect your personality or anything like that. I just needed to do this to save you both. They both are shocked, but understand and thank him. Shoto asks for water, but when he grabs the glass, it shatters in his hands. That's another thing. You both are extremely strong now. I will give you both a sheet of what your powers do and stuff like that, and what you possess and how it affected your quirks. Izuku gives them both the papers, and Tenya remembers his brother.
Midoriya, would you be able to do this with my brother?
Midoriya is confused and looks at his family, and they explain that his brother is currently in the hospital but stable. What is wrong with him? Tenya then tells Izuku that his brother is paralyzed, and that if this worked for him, maybe it'll work for his brother. Look, that's if your brother wants this. I did this for you two because it was life or death. He has the option to refuse, and I can't help if he does. Tenya is about to argue, but his family says it's true. But they can ask him and hope. Izuku nods, telling them to stay as long as they want, and that he even ordered pizza and it's on the way, but that he needs to go visit an agency. He leaves and heads to Night Eye's agency, and when he arrives, Mirio greets him, asking what is he doing here. Well, thought it would be pretty obvious. I want to accept that job request because, well, I kinda dropped out of UA. Mirio smiles and brings him into meet Night Eye to tell him the news. Night Eye then approaches him. Good to have you on board, kid. And how did it go with your two classmates? Great. I gave them what they needed, and now they can do hero training and work once again, at even a higher level now. Night Eye says that he's pretty impressed, but he can tell Midoriya has something else on his mind. Yeah, I do actually. But it's something that will practically put all of us out of a job. Night Eye is confused, but Izuku tells him that he will be working on it for a while, and when he gains progress, he will key him in on whatever he needs to know. In the meantime, though, if you need anything support-wise, let me know. Izuku walks away and enters the support lab, but as he does, his phone begins to blare. He looks to see that the robots that he set off weeks ago found Overhaul. He runs out and tosses the phone to Night Eye. We got him, and his base's location. Night Eye looks to see that the robots followed Overhaul and now actually have his location. Good job, Izuku. I'll handle the rest. For the next 3 to 5 days, the Night Eye agency began working on their plan, and Night Eye during this time gave Izuku the plan as well, and told him that he would, be getting his hero license so that he could participate in the raid. Izuku also suggests bringing Ida and Todoroki, and Night Eye agrees with him needing more power on their side. But Izuku isn't too fond of him being out in the field, but he understands how he could be of use. Eventually the day then came, and it was time to invade the base of the Shiha Zaikai. They all wait outside of the base until the police captain reads their warrant, and they all head inside. Izuku stayed with the main group that would face Overhaul, because of the prior plan that he already had in mind. After fighting through various villains and getting through the base, Izuku, Todoroki, Mirio, and Night Eye reach Overhaul himself, seeing him trying to escape with a little girl by the name of Eri. Quickly, Izuku throws something at Overhaul, or toward Overhaul, and it actually lands right onto Eri, but Overhaul doesn't notice this. Oh, you dumb heroes. And you, Izuku Midoriya, the most famous genius. It's what an honor. Sucks you have to die here. Izuku just smirks as the thing he threw grows in size instantly, and it's actually a relatively medium-sized robot, and he carries Eri away and flies out the door with the coordinates set to Night Eye's agency. Overhaul is visibly pissed, and using his quirk basically changes the whole entire landscape around them. All 4 of them begin to fight Overhaul, avoiding getting touched at all costs. Secretly though, as they fight, all of them begin to throw a little piece of what seems to be metal on the ground. Eventually though, Mirio goes in for a punch, but he didn't actually punch Overhaul. He sticks him with something. What are you doing? I thought you were the smartest person on your team, smartest person in the world. Your plan is to, what, wear me out? The group smirks and Izuku clicks a button, and multiple streams of electricity begin shocking Overhaul. You're right. I am the smartest in the world, and you didn't have any chance to get out of this one. Overhaul, while getting shocked, utters something though, just before he passes out. Was the smartest. He passes out and a bullet is heard, and it goes straight through Izuku's chest. Mirio cuffs Overhaul and Todoroki takes Izuku as fast as possible, getting him out of the base, rushing him to a hospital. The doctors rush him to the emergency room, and many people arrive waiting for an update. What the hell is going on? Tell me, you extra, is Izuku going to be okay? The receptionist tells Bakugo to sit down and that they will get an update as soon as possible. After hours of waiting, finally the doctor comes out. The surgery was a success and Izuku will live, but he will be paralyzed from the neck down. And that's not it. The bullet erased his quirk. The people there are shocked, and Inko begins to cry that something like this happened to our baby boy. Bakugo stands up.
It doesn't matter. You think his quirk was the only reason that made him so smart? Don't be so simple-minded.
Night Eye chimes in, saying that it was way more than just his IQ quirk that made him who he was. And if anybody can bring him back to his old self, it's, well, himself. The doctor then allows them to enter his room, and Izuku greets them. Hey guys, so how's everyone doing? They all don't respond. Damn, you guys really don't have good bedside manner, don't you? I know what happened, and it's fine. This is the life of a hero, and it just made me realize that the project I'm making is even more crucial now. His mom asks how could he even be thinking about projects? His quirk is gone and he's paralyzed. Izuku turns his head. Because I didn't want to be out in the field anyways. I mean, I want to create something that would make it so nobody will have to even be out in the field ever again.
But Izuku, you can't even walk anymore. Or even use your hands.
Wait, guys, you're serious? They all yell at him saying yes, they are. No, I'm asking if you really think I'm paralyzed. They all are confused, but then Inko kind of facepalms, saying that Izuku literally created technology for people that are paralyzed or crippled. How do you guys even forget that? I'll be fine, but I just can't go out in the field anymore. Everyone has a sigh of relief, and after about a week, Izuku is implanted with his exoskeleton, and he's able to once again begin working. But soon after he made his recovery, Night Eye runs into the support lab.
Kid, turn on the TV.
Izuku does so, and he watches in shock as a fight rages on between All For One and All Might. Why isn't anyone helping him?
Izuku, none of us have the...
Before Night Eye could even say anything else, Izuku was gone. He grabs something and goes running out the door. Eventually, Izuku arrives, and Endeavor is watching on as All Might fights All For One by himself. You want to fight, Endeavor?
Huh? Izuku, you shouldn't be out here.
Izuku ignores him and throws him something.
What is this?
Put on the back of your neck. Endeavor does so. Apollo, activate reaction mode. Reaction mode activated. Izuku nods, and Endeavor turns and blasts towards All For One, knocking him away. All Might asks what is he doing, and then Endeavor tells him that he wasn't able to catch up without assistance. But for the sake of Japan, sometimes you have to swallow your pride and, well, get help from someone else. The fight rages on, and eventually All For One is defeated, but the League escapes. Izuku watches on as All Might gives his signature thumbs up. Thank you, Endeavor. I promise to never let anything even close to this happen ever again. Izuku, from that day on, decided that he would make sure, at the end of it all, the end of himself, that there would be something to protect the people who lived here. He began working once again, using spy robots to gather intel and various DNA. Nobody really knew what he was doing, but just knew that he was working on a project. According to him, that would put all of them out of a job one day. After a couple weeks of working, Night Eye informed him of something very unsettling. He tells Izuku that they got word that Shigaraki is currently obtaining an army and also gaining power beyond imagination. So what do you want me to do? Night Eye looks at Izuku, seeing that he was basically so lost in his project at this point that there was nothing else that was very important. You have 3 months. Will you be able to finish your project in time? Izuku looks around in his lab and then nods toward Night Eye. It will be done in time. Night Eye nods and leaves Izuku as he just continues to work. Izuku was not creating a normal robot, no normal cyborg. This was a bio-android, something made up of various DNA from many other people, from himself to even people like All Might. He tries to keep all the DNA from people with good hearts in hopes that maybe this being will be able to make rational decisions for itself. He continues working until the day of the raid on the hospital was going to begin. Night-Eye asked Izuku if he was ready, and Izuku raised up one finger. 1 hour, Night-Eye. Here, take these in the meantime. Izuku throws 3 exoskeletons to Night-Eye and tells Night-Eye that he promises he will bring the cavalry. Night-Eye thanks him and runs off as Izuku continues to work. 30 minutes later, Izuku was finally finished. A massive being comes out of a pod. Visibly, the being looks green like a bug, but at the same time, the being looks like they're human. This thing has some sort of crown on his head as well, and it staggers at a massive 7 feet tall. Izuku is worried that the being will not listen at all, but the being kneels down. How may I help you, father? Izuku is visibly shocked at this response. No need for all that. I guess I am your father, technically, but just call me Izuku, and no need to kneel. The being stands up and asks what their name is. How about we call you Cell for now? You can name yourself whatever you want in the future. Cell it is, Izuku. How may I help you? Izuku explains the situation, and that him personally, he cannot help without his quirk. Apollo could help in fighting, but my reactions aren't very good without my quirk, and I don't remember much of my training in terms of learning any martial arts. It's okay, Izuku. You made me, so I will take your fighting spirit with me into battle. Izuku nods and Cell dashes off immediately. Apollo, let me see through Cell's eyes. As you wish. Izuku watches as Cell begins to tear apart the Nomus, and after they were all killed, Night-Eye rushes up to him. Are you on our side? I am on the side of Izuku, my creator. Night-Eye smiles, thinking that even without his IQ quirk, the kid figured it out. Izuku watches as the fight rages on, until a knock is heard at his door, and Mirio comes in with someone in his arms. Hey buddy, someone wants to see you. Oh, Eri, I'm sorry I haven't come by. Eri says it's fine and that she never got to say thank you for saving her. Eri heard that you lost your quirk, Izuku, and she wanted to come bearing a gift. Eri puts out her hand and electricity covers Izuku. The surge stops, and Izuku's mind begins to open once again. My quirk, it's back? Eri, you did it? Eri runs over and hugs him and asks if the gift was good. Izuku smiles and pats her head. Mirio, I think it's time to go check on the other heroes. Eri is told to stay there, and someone from the agency is told to basically just watch her. They head over to see everything has calmed down a bit, and Night-Eye asks why they are here, especially Mirio, that he shouldn't be here. I got my quirk back, and I wanted to check in on Cell for myself. Cell then appears from practically nowhere. I'm here, and well, Izuku, do not worry about me. Good to see, and now I know why Cell is actually so strong. I think it's because of the way my quirk works. Night-Eye is confused, and Izuku explains that his quirk isn't just as simple as giving him high IQ. The more he learns, the more he uses his brain, and the faster it will grow. And him losing his quirk himself made it so he basically was able to relearn things, and it grew his intelligence exponentially. So now his intelligence is far beyond anything he has ever even been close to before. And he also explains that that's why Cell is as strong as he is as well, because Cell technically had Izuku's dormant quirk, because I mean his quirk did technically get erased, but it was still embedded in his DNA. So when Cell got that quirk, it was as if he was learning everything from every piece of DNA that was being put within him. Night Eye is at a loss for words, but before he could even think of anything, someone's voice could be heard.
Now that everyone is here, I think it's time to die.
They all look to see the one and only Tomura Shigaraki. But this isn't just Shigaraki, he is far beyond anything anyone could have ever thought of.
Now, where is Lemillion?
Mirio's about to step up, but Izuku puts his hand on his chest.
Oh, is the famous Izuku Midoriya gonna fight me?
Shigaraki begins to laugh, but then a hulking figure appears behind him. No, but I am. Cell punches Shigaraki with a flaming fist, sending him flying. Izuku tells everyone to clear the area and that Cell will handle him, and that basically them being there is just putting more risk upon the battle. They all leave the area and watch from afar using a satellite. Cell begins beating down Shigaraki as all of them watch on. Mirio asks if this is a good idea to let him fight without help, and that Shigaraki could steal his quirk. If he does steal his quirk, he'd be stealing all of them. And I wonder if Shigaraki could handle that many quirks. All of them are confused, but Izuku tells them that Cell is made up of all the DNA of everyone standing with them currently. They all continue to watch in awe as Cell dismantles Shigaraki. He not only has the power advantage, but also the technique advantage by a long shot. Eventually Cell grabs Shigaraki's head and tears it off, and vaporizes every last cell. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry that you guys had to see that. But he kind of was programmed to do what was necessary to end a battle, and if killing was needed, Cell would deem it to be, well, fit to do so. Tomura Shigaraki, one of the most powerful villains that anyone has ever seen, was just taken down by the creation of the smartest person in the world. Ever since that day, crime rates crashed, and people now knew that they were safe from villainy, as if a brand new symbol of peace has arose or awakened. Izuku began traveling the entire world in hopes to completely get rid of villain society and keep everything on planet Earth safe and sound forever.